I'm happy instead of sad.
Rustus and Annice and the Unusual Heroes Part 4. So Lexi grabbed the rotator and put it in her mouth. And Sky, the ice dragon, didn't even see it. And Lexi didn't think much of it at first. It tasted just kind of like a potato. Except most potatoes you can't eat right out of the ground. But rotators you can. It tastes like a boiled potato. It even tastes a little bit salty, so it's not too bland. So Lexi liked the taste. And before the Sky could turn around, she grabbed 2 more rotators and ate them. So she ate 3 whole rotators.
What?
Yeah. Now normally, a half a rotator is quite enough to give you enough energy to last for a couple of days. And Lexi ate 3. So as she started walking back towards camp, behind Sky, where Rustus and Annice and Feasty and Raffi and Lala were, she suddenly started walking faster and faster and faster, and she got to camp and she just couldn't stop talking. She said, "Hey guys, how are you doing? I have a great idea. I think I'm gonna build a boat that has wings, a flying boat, and we're gonna all get in it and we're gonna fly to Mount Scoliosis. And when we get there, we'll find out what's wrong. And I think the problem will be that we need to get somebody to help us there, and then I'll be the one who helps us because I'm on top of the world and I can do anything I want." And she just kept talking and talking and talking so fast that everybody could hardly understand her. And she had these grandiose ideas that obviously couldn't happen because she couldn't build a flying boat.
Why won't she stop talking?
And the Gollywomp Sneevil said, "Lexi, are you okay? What's going on?" And she said, "Oh yes, I'm fine. I'm just totally fine. I just had a rotator and it was really good, so I had 2 more. I had 3 rotators and they're so delicious. I think I want some more. And I feel so good right now. I don't even need to sleep. I could go a whole week without sleeping and I'd be just fine." And the Gollywomp Sneevil said, "Oh no, I think we need help from the doctor." "What?" said Rustus. "But the doctor is far away. We left him back in Lala Forest. And we've already passed through Lala Forest and through Kazorgan and through the land of the dairy bugs. And now we're in the ice mountains where the ice dragons live. How can we get a hold of Doctor?" "Don't worry," said Sky. "I know what's wrong with your friend. She does seem a little bit..."
But the Queen's sounds like a boy.
Well, she has a deep voice.
Oh.
Dragons all have deep, scary voices.
Oh. Well, she didn't when she was not a queen.
Well, but then she got bigger and older. She matured. "So I think your friend might seem a little manic, but it's not because of something wrong with her. It's because she ate too many rotators. So the only thing to do when something like this happens is to freeze her." And then Sky opened her big mouth with lots of teeth and went... And instead of fire coming out of her mouth, like happens with some other dragons, ice came out of her mouth. And Lexi was talking and she was saying, "Oh, and I have this other great idea too. I'll use some sticks and I'll turn the sticks and I'll build some stilts out of them and we'll all walk on stilts and that'll help us get there faster." And then all of a sudden, the breath from Sky landed on her and she stopped mid-sentence. And then and she was frozen, stiff, because of the breath of Sky, the queen of the ice dragons. "Oh no," said Annice. "You froze our friend. I thought you were nice." "Yeah, what's that about?" said Feasty. "It's okay," said Sky. "She's not hurt. She's just frozen in time. It'll take about a week for her to thaw out, and by that time, the rotator should have worn off." "But how are we going to carry her?" said Rustus. "Well," said Sky, "I don't know. You'll have to figure that out. But you're all very smart and have powers, so I think you'll be able to do it. Now, before you leave, I packed some rotators for you. I packed 1 for each of you. Now, you can see that they're very powerful, and you probably don't need to eat a whole one if you ever need it. About a quarter of one should give you enough energy to last all day. But I wouldn't eat more than that unless it's an absolute emergency.
It's often.
So they packed the rotators in their bags, and then Lala used her powers because she could shrink herself, but she could also shrink other people. So she shrunk Lexi down to a tiny size and put her in her backpack. And then they started on their way. So after they crossed the ice mountains, they came to the swamp of Yaya. And on the edge of the swamp of Yaya were some apotheca trees. An apotheca looks like...
Where's the piranha frogs?
You remember that the piranha frogs live there, huh? An apotheca tree looks like a pineapple tree. Except pineapples don't actually grow on trees, they grow on bushes. Apothecas look like pineapples, but they grow on trees instead of bushes. And apothecas have magical powers. Apotheca juice, when boiled, smells very sweet and will attract all sorts of creatures. But it also makes you sleepy. And the top of the apotheca, if you cut it off...
one of them. You told me to eat one of them because I've been waking you up.
And if the top of the apotheca is cut off and burned, it forms a torch that'll last for 6 hours. So they picked a couple apothecas and started marching through the swamp. Squish, squish, squish went the sound of their feet in the wet mud. When all of a sudden, they heard, "Rah, ribbit, rah, ribbit, rah, ribbit." And Rustus, who had been there before, said, "Oh no, it's piranha frogs." Rustus knew how bad they were, and he was also a scaredy cow, so he started crying. "The piranha frogs are gonna get us." "Rah, ribbit, rah, ribbit." And then Lala turned around, and she saw 100 piranha frogs coming at them with their teeth bared. "Rah, ribbit, rah, ribbit." And that's the end of our story.